Alright, first thing we're going to do is set up the code replacements. This is where I like to get things started. So you come down to Edit, Settings, Set the code replacements. Just click on Add. I save my code replacements under CrossFit file under my documents. So keep it somewhere where you know you'll remember it. Open, and it's as simple as that. We'll come back to the code replacements a little bit later, but it's important to set this up in the beginning. Alright, so here I'm going to talk about setting up the RPTC information. This also needs to be done beforehand. So you're going to click on Image, click RPT Stationary Pad, and that'll bring up this box. Your description is going to stay empty because that's where we'll do our tagging of athletes a little bit later. Important things you've got to get down is first, put photographer name. You then need to make sure that you have the copyright logo. If you're not sure how to do that, on Mac it's just Alt-G. That's Alt-G for golf, then CrossFit, Inc.2014. Make sure you've got your city, the location, and your country correct as well. The next thing we're going to talk about is the keywording and how to get to this keywording parts. You would have got a keyword vocabulary from Dave. Make sure you load that, save it into the same file. You're going to click up over here and you're going to click structured keywords. Alright, so you'll see I'm going to load this. I'm going to show you guys how to load it. So you'll come down to the bottom, click load, find that CrossFit vocabulary 1.0 and click open over there, and you'll see that now brings up a whole bunch of new keywords here that you need. Alright, set up the basic ones before you actually get going. So I'm going to get onto CrossFit Regionals. That's where we are. So you're going to click CrossFit Regionals, CrossFit Games Regionals. And for me, it's going to be Africa. So that'll give me CrossFit Games Regionals, Africa Regional, AF. I'll then just click Add Path and Apply. That'll put all of those over there for me. I'll leave this as my standard before any of my ingests and then add the rest of the keywords as I need to go along a little bit later down the line, which we'll discuss and execute later. So this should be your initial setup template before any ingesting. You just click stationary, and that'll remain. So now if I come back, nothing would have changed over there. It'll all remain exactly the same. Alright, make sure that you set up your color labels. You're going to come through to Photo Mechanic. You're going to click Preferences. It comes straight up underneath General Settings. So if you look back on the email from Dave, it's going to be red for winner, yellow for winner alt, green for superior, blue for superior alt, and purple for select. Make sure you've got that set up. You'll have to set that up in either Lightroom or Photo Mechanic. Alright, so the last thing we're going to talk about is just the setup for ingesting. So whenever you're going to ingest, make sure you got all these things correct first. So you click ingest or Command G. Make sure you got a couple of things set up. Always click incremental ingest. This will make sure that it copies new photos and you don't have duplicates, especially for people that don't delete or format their cards. The next thing you want to set up is you're going to set up where you're going to be sending these folders to. So always ensure that you got it into a folder with a name. I have a couple of presets that I use. So for regionals, I'm going to use the following one. I will email this over to you guys as well, just so you have it. So 2014 CrossFit Regional. You then put in your region code. For Africa, it's AF, and then make sure you put in the event name. So individual event 1, for instance. So keep it nice and simple over there. You then gonna select where these folders are gonna go to. So you got an external hard drive, wherever it may be. Let's just assume I'm gonna put it to my desktop. I'm gonna just create a new folder and say CrossFit 2014 Regionals. So that'll just allow me to have a single destination every single time for these images. Open, so I've set my primary destination. Make sure it's copy locked and unlocked photos. Copy the raw and non-raw one photos. Make sure you have that RPTC stationary applied from earlier on. So you can see everything we set up there is good to go. Close that. I also do the renaming. You don't have to do it. I prefer it just to ensure that I don't have any duplicate name, so everything has its own sort of a name. So very similar format. What you'll do is 2014 regional code, which again will be AF in my instance for Africa. The event, so individual event 1, and I also put the photographer's name over here. In the event that you guys are sharing files to the same drive, it's just good to have that. I also then just put a sequence number at the end of that, just to make sure that there's going to be no duplicates. Lastly, make sure you have unmount source disk after ingest, and then you're good to go for your ingesting. Alright, now that everything's set up, I'm going to run through the quick process of ingesting and tagging your images, getting them ready for upload. So relatively simple. You're going to click File, Ingest, or Command G. You're going to select your source. Remember, you should have this tick, the incremental ingest. I don't have a tick because these are old images. I've already have them imported them into my library, so they're not going to come through for me. Very important, I have my folder name set up as 2014 CrossFit Regional Africa Event 1. My destination was set earlier. I also have my file renaming set up. So 2014 CrossFit Regional Africa Event 1. This is going to change between events. Remember that, guys. You've got to change that section with every event, and the sequence number will change as well. Ensure that you apply the RPTC stationary as well. Unmount the disk, hit ingest, and those images will import relatively fast for you guys. I've got about 50 images on here, so it'll take about 30 odd seconds to come through. Depends on how fast my machine decides to work. While they're coming in, we can start selecting a couple of images. So remember, command 1 will give me the red, so those will be winner images. So we're just going to select a few quick images through here to make sure that we're happy with them. And we can also have a little bit of time to label these images. That one's for Mr. Nolan. Put a team photo in there, and probably one more photo. There we go. We've got a few selects going down there, so you guys will get the hang of adding in your select images as you go along. You do get quick edits. I know these images, so that's why it's a little bit faster for me. So I've got 13 images selected over here. Alright, now that we've selected our images, we want to just view the images that we've selected. So this was the whole bunch that we've brought in. You come down to the bottom right, and you're going to go hide the ones that do not have a color class. You just click that, and that'll select just those 13 images that are selected. Our next key is to start tagging these images. So you're going to double click the image so you can see it. You're going to click R, and that'll bring up the RPTC information for this. Now remember, we set up all of the code replacements, so it's going to be relatively simple to move through this. So this is going to be Annie Thoros-Dotter. I have her set up as W02 Annie Thoros-Dotter, and then you just move along there. So save. That's going to be Spencer Hendel and Daniel Petro. You can split them up by comma sign. There's one of Agabom. Oopsie. Another nice feature is you can copy as well. So if I click copy and move along, if I see any other images of her, I can just paste those images to get it done really quickly. So just the little shortcuts do help out a lot when you need to move through images fairly quick. But you guys will have the time to move through these. Let's get these done nice and quickly so that we can move on to the next step, being tagging the images, or adding the keywords rather. There's a nice team photo, so we can add a whole bunch. So we have Andrea Ager, we have Annie Thoros-Dotter, then we have Daniel Petro, and then Spencer Hendel. I don't have the rest of the names on here, just no purpose to put them in there for this application now. And I think this is one of the last ones. One, Andrea Ager, and Spencer Hendel. Alright. Okay, so next stop is going to be tagging the images. Tagging the images is super important on the vocab that Dave Ray sent through to you guys. So what you do, again, you hit up or you pull up the RPTC information. You're going to come down into this keyword section over here. So I've got CrossFit Games regionals, Africa regional, and AF as the short code. I then need to add the movements in here. So this was a clean. So I'm going to come down to the structured keywords. I'm going to add in the event as well. So it was an individual event 1. We're going to add that keyword, and then I need to add some movement. So this was a weighted movement. It was a clean. I know at the time it was a hang clean. So I'm going to just add that path. The path will say clean and hang clean so that it's nice and easy for HQ to use. I'm just going to run through a couple of examples for you guys. I don't want to bore you with all of them. So here we've got some box jumps going on. So structured keywords, again, you need to add the event, so individual event 1. You can do these in the beginning as well to keep it short if you're smart about it as well. And then we need to add in the movement. So this was a body weight movement, box jump. It was just a plain box jump, not a box jump over. Then I just add that keyword and apply. Let's do one more. So this was a thruster. So individual event 1. And then the movement was a thruster. Add that keyword and apply. And okay, you'll move through all your images, get all of those keywords added in there, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which will be uploading or exporting and uploading. Alright, so last step that we're going to hit now is going to just be the export and the upload. So simple export is dead easy. You select your first image, then hit Command A. That'll pull all the images up for you, ready for export. You're then going to hit Command S or File Save, or Command S or File Save Photo As. Click that. Make sure you got the resolution set to high and no scaling. You don't want to downsize these images, guys. I also like to have always pick a destination at the end because I choose where these images are going to go through. Hit Save. I'm then going to come through to a folder that I set up earlier. So CrossFit Regional Exports, Event 1, I'm going to open and I'm going to save all those images straight into that file over there. Once this export is done, we're going to come over to our upload. So you can go to Google Chrome, Safari, whichever you use. Make sure you go straight into Damnit. That's the new file upload that we've got from CrossFit, which is pretty damn awesome. Okay, so you come through to your homepage, you click upload. This is super important, guys. You've got to add in this temporary JPEG keyword in. So on the upload, you're going to hit temp JPEG. Just hit that once. Really simple. That'll apply to all the images that as soon as they go up to HQ. You're then going to just hit next because you've added the rest of the details into the image. And you're going to select your files ready for upload. So let's just go back so you guys can see where I've got it. I have it as CrossFit Regional JPEG Exports Event 1. I'm then going to just select all these images, hit open, and those images will get uploading for me. Pretty simple. Start the upload, have a fun weekend, catch you guys later.